We've had a beautiful week of practice for Hanukkah, and today is the 29th day of the month of Kislev. Of course, it is the 5th day of Hanukkah, and tonight and tomorrow night, tonight is the beginning of Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Technically, tomorrow is the 30th of Kislev, and not Rosh Chodesh Kislev, Rosh Chodesh Tevet. Tomorrow is technically the last day of Kislev, and tomorrow night is the first day of the month of Tevet. So we have this interesting juxtaposition in the Jewish calendar right now of coming to the end of the month, which of course is marked by the lunar cycle. So we're coming to the end of one lunar cycle where the moon is waning and disappearing. So that tonight and maybe tomorrow night as well, there's no moon, no light at all in the sky, in the evening sky. However, we're also in the middle of Hanukkah, where, of course, the tradition, which follows the teaching of Hillel, the classic Rabbi Hillel, we increase the light on the Chanukiah each night until we get to the end of Hanukkah, when we have all 8 lights of the Chanukiah lit. So we're at this stage where in the natural world, the light in the evening, in the night sky is decreasing, but the light that we are creating is increasing. And then for the last few days of Hanukkah, tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday night, we are moving to full blaze in sync with the increasing of light in the night sky. In other words, the moon will begin waxing as we are basically giving it a boost with our Chanukiah, which is kind of very amazing, and we're right at that, on the cusp of that process. So it's almost as if, and this is one of the themes of Jewish mysticism, it's almost as if what we are doing through lighting the Chanukiah has cosmic significance. It almost changes the light in the world in some way. So for our practice today, I wanted us to just take note of where we are in that calendar and where we are in this moment. Of course, we're also like on the eve of Shabbat. We're on the eve of Rosh Chodesh. We're here in the middle of Hanukkah. We're also at a turning point in the Torah story of Joseph and his brothers, his siblings, Parshat Miketz for Shabbat Hanukkah. So let's just begin, first of all, just by doing what is so simple and so challenging, which is just to take a few minutes, as I always invite people before we begin formally, just to check in with how we're doing right now. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes or softening your gaze, or if that's not available to you, just turning your attention inward, and I'll do the same. And all we're doing, sounds so simple, is bringing our attention to what is happening right now with us. Maybe you notice something in your body. You might notice sensations in your belly, or the sensations of your feet against the floor, or just notice the position of your body. Notice as I invite people to, and every day, just notice the state of your mind, the state of your spirit. Are you feeling dispirited? Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling numb? Maybe it's difficult to access the state of your spiritual condition right now. And the same with our emotions. Can you notice what you are feeling, or what your feelings are right now? Might be feeling a little angry, might be feeling resentful, might be feeling guilty, might be feeling excited, might be feeling joy, might be feeling all the above and more, might be feeling grief, fear, content. take a minute to orient ourselves to what is true for ourselves right now, without regard for how others imagine it should be or is for us. The only one who can really know how you are is you. And invite us all just to take a few deep breaths, receiving a few deep breaths into the belly, and experience those as gifts of love and renewal and refreshment and enlivenment. Gives us a chance to check in to see what is our baseline as gift receivers. Can we take that in? Can we receive the gift? Can we let go of resistance to receiving the gift of love and light and breath? And if your eyes are closed, your gaze is soft, you can just stay that way. I'm going to share a poem by Rumi, which is my favorite for Hanukkah. I'm just going to read it. Later I'll share it, so don't worry about having a copy of it, or just try to take it in. How does a part of the world leave the world? How does wetness leave water? Don't try to put out fire by throwing on more fire. Don't wash a wound with blood. No matter how fast you run, your shadow keeps up. Sometimes it's in front. Only full overhead sun diminishes your shadow, but that shadow has been serving you. What hurts you blesses you. Darkness is your candle. Your boundaries are your quest. I could explain this, but it will break the glass cover on your heart, and there's no fixing that. You must have shadow and light, source both. Listen and lay your head under the tree of awe. When from that tree feathers and wings sprout on you, be quieter than a dove. Don't even open your mouth for even a coo. You must have shadow and light, source both. So I want to invite you to just stay with awareness of what is true for you, what is happening in your mind right now, what's happening in your body right now, what is true as your emotions come and go, and as you're aware of your own spirit. Just notice what's happening, the thoughts being formed in your mind, or the emotions flowing within you, or the sensations in your body coming and going, and listening to the words that I'm speaking. Mindfulness is about a readiness and willing to let go of self-deception and just be as real as we can be with ourselves. So it involves noticing and surrendering that which distracts us and takes us away from reality, from that which is actually happening right now. So we're watching our minds wandering off into the past and the future, sometimes taking us away from what's really happening right now. And we notice that distraction. We notice daydreaming and fantasy. And we come back to the present, just as it is, over and over. And our practice is also rooted in compassion, in meeting all those distractions and confusions and the daydreams, not with judgment, but with a lot of compassion, with a lot of kindness, without harsh judgment and without any shame. And here's the simple image that I'd like to invite us to use for practice today. There's this wonderful rabbinic tradition, a legend, that says that the light of the first day of creation filled the whole universe from end to end. Of course, the story of creation is a little confusing because the heavenly lights are not created until later, but on Vahi Erev Vayiyor Yom Rishon, Yom Echad, that there was light and darkness on the first day, one day. What was that light? And the rabbis say, well, there was light that filled the whole universe. The whole universe was light, filled with light from end to end. But on the day that humankind was created, day 6, and ate from the forbidden tree, that original light of creation only lasted for 36 more hours. 12 hours on Friday, and then 24 hours for the very first Shabbat. And then at the end of that Shabbat, the light was hidden away. The light is known as the Or Haganuz, the hidden or concealed light. It's hidden, but it's very much present still in every person, in every place, in every experience, and in every moment. There is light, as I think Sarah Brandis mentioned earlier this week, light embedded in the darkness, light embedded in the shadows. There's light in everything. Sometimes it's apparent and sometimes it is concealed. And that light is revealed to us through our practice, through spiritual practice. The first step is just noticing and bearing witness to the presence of light, even when we can't see it with our own eyes. And that may be why in meditation it can be helpful for us, if we have sight, to close our eyes or soften our gaze. This helps us engage the aspect of ourselves which is capable of knowing what's true even when we can't see it with our own eyes. We can perceive and intuit something to be true. We can intuit the presence of the light that is concealed even when we can't see it. So this week, our teachers have been inviting us to bring that attention inward to the inner light, to the Ner Tamid, to the eternal light, to the Shamash, the candle that is always flickering within us, that we can understand as the sacred light, the light of God, or if you prefer, just the light of your own soul, our inner Shamash. That can never go out, our neshama tahora, our pure soul. So the question for us to consider is, can we know that this light is present even when we can't see it, even when it feels far away, even when we are too numb or distracted or confused and we lose touch with it? Can we experience what it means to trust that it's here even when it is concealed or it feels concealed? So the simple practice I want to invite us into for the next 10 minutes is, whether your eyes are closed or open or soft focused, or if you're just bringing your attention inward, let's imagine each in-breath, each inhalation as gently enlivening that flickering inner light. And if it's hard to imagine a candle within you, then maybe envision your soul as a glowing ember within you, just like a campfire that you might gently blow on to coax the glowing ember into flame. Allow each inhalation, as it enters you and fills your lungs and your belly, to gently coax that ember to light. Let it glow a little bit more brightly each time, growing in Kedusha, just as Hillel instructs us with regard to the Chanukiah, to increase in holiness by adding to the light, by coaxing it into its fullest brightness. The light within us, the light in this world. We can't see that soul, but in the darkness, in any given moment, we can remember that it's present and that it's precious and that it is beautiful and that it cannot be touched. So in If you need to adjust your body to find a position that feels really comfortable for you, or where you can stay alert and present, you might want to do that now. Adjust your body and your posture, and allow your hands just to rest comfortably in your lap or on top of your thighs. Allow yourself to feel as safe as you can in this moment. And all we're doing is tending our inner light by allowing the breath to strengthen the light within us, to be that light. So we'll sit for about the next 8 minutes in silence with that suggestion, and I'll bring us back. So as we come to the close of our sit, I invite you to begin to open your eyes and see, as we look at each other, this the collective light of this Chanukiah that we've formed together over the course of Chanukah, and offer our prayers that the light that is generated in us by our ability to receive that light and that love by the simple act of breathing can radiate out through us to others and bring more warmth and more light and more healing and more hope and more justice to a broken world. So we seal the practice as we do every day by offering those of you who are in mourning or observing yard site an opportunity to recite in the mourner's Kaddish. If you're not reciting Kaddish, just to stay present, and if you like, you can stay with that practice of receiving the breath and letting the oxygen grow the light and the flame within you, and hold all those who are in mourning in love and support. If you'd like to put the name or names of those you're honoring today with the Kaddish in the chat, you're welcome to do that now or after we recite Kaddish together. And if you are reciting Kaddish, I invite you to join me by rising in body or in spirit to recite the words together. And thanks to Kat for sharing the words on the screen. Yitkadal,
Gadal
Yitkadal, Rabba, Tiama, Diva, And friends, thanks so much, as always, for joining us today. I want to thank Kat Esposito, as always, for holding our space with grace and skill. Thank each one of you for being here to hold the space for our practice together. And if you're leaving now, I just want to wish you a sweet, restorative Shabbat, Chanukah, Chanukah Sameach for the last few days, and a Chodesh Tov for the month of Tevet. And we'll look forward to seeing you in 2023. We'll be back with our next live session will be on Tuesday, January 3rd. And I hope everyone stays safe and well in the midst of this winter storm many are experiencing right now, and stay safe and well in general until we're able to be back together live. I look forward to that. And I'm happy to stay on to respond to questions, comments in the chat. If you'd like to stay on, I'm happy to do that for a bit. And I do want to go back to, I want to share, promised I would share that Rumi poem again, which I will. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was so immersed in what I was saying at the end of the meditation, I forgot that I was muted. I gave kind of a recap when I unmuted, so you didn't really miss anything. I was just inviting us to spend the last couple of minutes of the practice coming back to the focus of just letting the oxygen that we receive when we inhale feed the light, feed the flame, help it grow. And then with the exhalation to let that light radiate out. So that's a practice we can just carry, through our day when we remember. because it's always available to us, and I think it enables us really to carry the practice of Hanukkah with us in our daily lives. Oh yes, the Rumi poem. Kat, if you have the link, if you could put it in, but I'll share my screen for a sec. And the part that really that I focus on, and I think it's a good place to leave this week of Hanukkah practice together, is this, as it's come up this week in the conversations after the meditations, the binary between darkness and light or shadow and light is sometimes problematic. What I love about this Rumi poem, Shadow and Light Both, is that it reminds us that the shadow and the darkness are gifts as well. So Rumi writes that the shadow serves us. What hurts us blesses us. Darkness is our candle. That's the part right here. Gets me every time. That part and this light. You must have shadow and light, source both. That shadow, darkness is itself a source. And I love that we have this rabbinic tradition about the Or HaGanuz, this concealed light. This is the world, that the world is constructed in such a way that the light is present, but it's, one way to think about it is that it is concealed or hidden, which is how it's described. But I really loved what Sarah Brandis said earlier this week. I guess it was Tuesday when she led our meditation. She described the light as embedded in the darkness, which kind of gets us out of that dualistic binary of you're either in one or the other, but that actually we can experience both at the same time. So I hope that is a contribution for folks. I'm just going to scroll through, see if there were, let's see. Looking for any questions. Oh, okay. Ricky shared the story of the light embedded in the darkness in a new way. Please expand on the practice of seeing darkness, grief, sadness in that way as opportunity. Thanks, Ricky. Well, I guess I'm going to go back to the Rumi poem, which is challenging. I'll put it back up for a sec. It's challenging, but I think it really goes with our practice. This is my understanding of the poem. Of course, everyone's can have their own interpretation of it. I take it as a prescription to be fully in the world, not to step out of the world, to be fully in the world. And so what hurts you, say grief, is also a blessing. Darkness is our candle, your boundaries are your quest. Shadow and light, we have to have the whole package. And I guess, Ricky, what I'm thinking about in terms of our practice is that there is blessing in everything. There is holiness in everything, even the experiences that we might want to push away. Actually, last week we did a whole week of practice with Rabbi Ariel Fornari, of course, about bringing our practice to bear on difficult emotions, right? Where the inclination is to repress or deny or fight against it or resist it, and instead to just acknowledge it and be with it. And extract from the hard, what we experience as the challenges, the darkness, the dark periods of our lives, extract the blessing. So that's one way of understanding it. But what I like about the poem is that it kind of blurs the lines between those. And really, all we're really doing is every moment is trying to see what's true, pleasant, neutral, unpleasant. And as Rumi describes in the Guest House poem, welcome them all in, because they all serve a function for us. I guess that's all I really have to say about that. And someone mentioned equanimity or equanimity. I think maybe we would describe here as that, working on developing that capacity to be less reactive to that which would stir us up and throw us off balance. It's really about staying balanced with, oh, I don't like this, and yet I'm not going to let it throw me. It's not going to knock me off balance. And even with something that is pleasant or wonderful, that also can throw us off balance too. Try to stay centered, anchored, rooted, moment by moment, breath by breath. And the premise, which everyone has to just check out in their own experience, as my friend Sam Feinsmith likes to say, is that we can find blessing in all of it if we're able to stay in that, in a little bit more equanimous place. Okay. All right. I think we'll close here. I just want to, as always, thank you all so much for sharing the journey. It's great. It's really wonderful to share the journey with each and every one of you. Maybe some of you joined us today for the first time. If so, welcome aboard. We're going on hiatus, but we'll be back, and we hope you'll join us then. And as always, we love to hear from you, feedback, and whatever you have to offer in terms of what would be helpful to you to sustain this practice. We're glad to be here for you. So wishing everyone Shabbat Shalom, Chodesh Tov, Chag Urim Sameach. Much gratitude to you, Kat. Hope you have a nice, an easy week, and we'll see you all back here on Tuesday, January 3rd in 2023. So wishing you a happy and healthy 2023 also. Be well, everyone. Many blessings.